Welcome back to Gran Jacamito in the Pedroche Valley of Andalusia, Spain. We are already well into summer, and the only green now is where there is either a flow of water or plants with very long roots. Now that we are in summer and the animals can only find dry matter, that is really dry, this is interesting. So this is the outflow of our lake, the big pond, and as you can see, they are eating there, and what they are eating is bermuda grass, because there it is able to establish itself and grow because there is additional moisture. So that is a glimpse of the future. As always, once the first one understood, everybody follows. And yes, some of you remarked that the sound of my steps is different. Yes, I concur, the sound is different. Soil is not as hard as it used to. And we still have forage. Of course it's dry now and has less protein and all that, but they like it. And there's something else to explain. So that fence is basically now a psychological barrier, and it means you should not cross. Would you please respect it? And if they have a different opinion, then they will just walk through. The ground is not conducive to electricity anymore, so we need to make this a positive negative fence. That is easier said than done. Our way of doing this is by installing wire mesh. So instead of these wires, you can see I can touch it, it does nothing. We will install a wire mesh, and that is then the negative pole connected to the ground of the energizer. And then when the animal touches the wire and the wire mesh, it will be shocked and it gets the full dose. So that sends a message, and at the same time that is then also pig safe. And until we have achieved this in all the major parts, we cannot really plant and make this green, because these boys and girls will then find a way to go there. So we have to be careful, and of course this cannot be done in a day, quickly. This takes time. It's also a major investment. So we do this step by step based on importance and in coordination with all the other things that we need to do. Eventually it will be done. And while we work on this step by step, we also take care of all the other activity streams that we have. And yeah, it's a process, but eventually we have this, and then we can forget fencing, because it's then only a maintenance job, and we can dedicate our time on planting and animal husbandry and developing products that we can actually sell. So I'm thinking about, for example, plant lavender and things like that. And speaking about lavender, let me show you something in a second and ask you a question. You see these two calves? If we now had planted something interesting here, they would destroy it. So first we need to make sure that nobody can get out of these paddocks and stay where we put them. And right now this is not a problem, because they won't do a lot of harm, because the dry forage is the same here as it is over there. But once we do something more special, then that is an issue. So first comes finishing the fencing job. And once that is done, now let me ask you that question. I am looking for someone who knows about lavender. You know about lavender? We can communicate in either English, German or Spanish. Je ne sais pas parler français. Then you are most welcome. Let's start a project. Let's put a lot of lavender in these strips along the driveway. So if you happen to be from France and would like to do something like that, please contact me. The email address is in the about description of this channel. So please send me a mail, and I'm more than happy to have a conversation, because that is something I would really love to do once the fencing problem is out of the way. That we can put here, I would estimate 1.5 hectares of lavender along this road and further down and behind me and maybe further up. We have drip irrigation available, so we can establish this, and we can also fence it and use some sheep in order to maintain it here and there. So please contact me to have a conversation, or forward it to someone who knows and might be interested. Thank you. So here in the shade there is some green leaves, so it is getting better. But of course there's also a lot of manure, in this case from the horses. So I think that is a positive sign. Quiere reducir el tamaño.
Ya no va a haber más cosas. Pero escúchala. ¡Oh! Ya, vamos. ¡Oh! 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 Chucha, chucha. Pepa, ciérrala ahí un poco. Que están ahí unas pocas casi dentro ya. ¡Oh! ¡Oh! ¡Ale! Escucha ahí, háblale. ¡Ale!
We have to do this about every 6 months, but we wish every time that our cattle sorting facility were done. We can only work on it when it's wet outside, as the work involves welding. That means progress can only be made when there is rainfall in autumn, winter and spring. And there are competing tasks, and we need to maintain a balance. The next thing that we will build here is the second circle with a squeeze gate that allows us to push the animals forward into the single file circle. This is 5536, and we are trying to save her left eye. On the right one, she is blind already.
Buenas tardes. Vamos, José.
To the wet, every bull is named Jose. This is the design of a cattle sorting facility created by Temple Grandin. And we are trying to follow it more or less, so we took the dimensions from here and we are trying to build something that is very, very similar to what you see.
¡Oh! ¡Oh! ¡Oh!
Que salga uno. Ahorita, que están entrando.
¡Oh!
Despacito.
¡Oh! Es que los toros empiezan a subirse, claro. ¡Oh!
Aquí, Juan, pendiente de los becerros. Son los que se salen.
¡Oh! ¡Oh!
Cuidado.
¡Oh!
Bueno, hacemos lo mismo con grupos más pequeños.
Intenta meter algo. intenta meter alguna ahora que hay aquí varias. ¿Le abro el hierro este, no? Sí, sí, ábrelo.
Pero... Darte un momento, Pero...
La blanca esta, que es la que te sale todo el rato.
Vete, Juan, venga. ¡Oh! ¡Oh!
Juan, aquí, esa déjala. Hasta 4 o 5.
¡Oh!
Chúchale ahí. Por aquí ya no le sale. Ahí.
¡Claro!
Venga para adentro. Venga. Creo que no sale bien a la malla, ¿no? Una pelota en la otra.
The bulls trying to mount a cow do not make it easier. It just creates more nervousness within the whole herd.
Una poquita vida, Vamos. Aquí, vamos a coger 4 o 5. Ahí está, a ver. Por aquí. Mira, ahora sí me tengo que meter. Ahí. A ver, escúchale, Juan, ahí. Vale, ya está.
¿Eran dos solo?
Quédate aquí, Juan. Quédate. Vamos a hacer lo mismo, Juan.
Vamos primero y luego allí las cortamos.
Sí, nos metemos allí unas pocas y... Pudiéramos meter unos cuantos becerros, ¿verdad? Claro, los becerros son los que malean a la otra. La otra, mira, a ver, si ponen a dar círculos... Mira, estos van a ser los que vamos a coger. Esto. Venidos para acá. Vale, para.
Today the vet injected tuberculin in order to diagnose tuberculosis. On Friday he will come back and then measure the thickness of the skin in the area where the injection was done. If the skin is swollen, it will be bad news. This, by the way, is Paddock A15, which was grazed a few days ago. The green is bermuda grass, which is spreading more and more to more and more areas. That was it for today. Please come back in a few days to see how we continue.